This is the Leitmotif and Movement podcast, a father and son's journey into the vast worlds of music. I am your host, Mike Ficklin. Joining me on this epic musical journey is my son,
Michael Ficklin.
This show is dedicated to the discussion of music and introducing Michael to music from the past and present. We discuss music mainly from the genres of rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. We also, from time to time, dive into film and video game scores, and we sprinkle in some surprises along the way. Michael, what have you been listening to this week?
I haven't really listened to anything.
No?
No.
Why not?
Just haven't been in a music mood.
Okay. Been too stuck on the video games the last couple weeks,
No.
eh?
I mean, at least last week.
For me, I've listened to quite a bit of stuff this week. I'll touch on some highlights. I got a chance to check out the full discography from Bear Ghost, and I have to say that these guys are a lot of fun. They categorize themselves as adventure rock. I think they sound like a mix of surf rock and 1960s cartoon music, with a bit of the Munsters theme music thrown in for good measure. They're a lot of fun. I also listened to both of the records from a progressive metal band out of Italy called Benthos. What an experience. The band has a lot of influences in their music from jazz, classical, and math rock. The song Debris Essence from their debut record is incredible. Vocalist Gabriel Landio can sing his ass off, man. Their second album, From Nothing, has a distinct jazz fusion sound to it, lots of controlled chaos. The album opener, From Nothing, is a killer track. Top-notch musicianship and tons of creativity flow from Benthos. If you're not listening, you really should be. I also listened to Bush's new record, I Beat Loneliness. This is the British rock band's 10th album, and I have to say that it's pretty solid. I enjoyed it quite a bit more than their last couple of releases. At times, it almost feels like they exhibit a bit of that sound from their first couple of records, 16 Stone and Razorblade Suitcase. I feel like songs such as Scars, I Beat Loneliness, and Rebel with a Cause could become staples in their live sets. Gavin Rossdale's voice is as strong as it has ever been. Solid production on this record. Good stuff. I also listened to the new record from Alice Cooper titled The Revenge of Alice Cooper. I love Alice Cooper, so perhaps it comes as no surprise that I really enjoyed this. This is Alice's 30th record, Michael. 30th record, but only the 8th one released as the band Alice Cooper. It's the first record featuring the surviving original band members since 1973's Muscle of Love. It feels like a throwback. It has a very 70s hard rock feel to it. Alice never seems to age. He's always so consistent with his vocals. The songs are filled with his now iconic brand of sarcastic lyrics and subject matter. It feels like the band hasn't missed a beat in their time apart. I really enjoyed tracks like Black Mamba, Wild Ones, Blood on the Sun, and Intergalactic Vagabond Blues. If you love old school Alice Cooper, you're gonna love this. This gets my pick of the week.
But 30 albums?
30 albums. Only 8 of them came as the band Alice Cooper before he kind of spun off as a solo act, but still crazy. Big career. The last thing I listened to was the new EP from the New York prog metal act known as Cryptodira. The EP is titled Genesis of Error. My biggest complaint is that it is too short. It's such a good listen. The songs No Monuments and Genesis of Error are absolute bangers. You'll find the requisite artsy textures, quiet, nuanced guitars, and clean vocals to go along with the heavier, distorted parts, complete with metal growls. Plenty of changes abound in this minute EP that will have you revisiting it to catch things you missed on previous listens. Outstanding EP. Michael, do you have anything else for this segment before we move on?
Nope.
Okay. So, before we get into the art of discovery, I thought we would take a few minutes to talk about a major event that happened this week in music. The Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, passed away this week on July 22nd. It cannot be overstated how important Ozzy Osbourne is to heavy metal. He was the founding vocalist for the British heavy metal band Black Sabbath. And with his brothers in Black Sabbath, created that really dark, doomy sound that would later go on to influence just numerous bands over the years. Ozzy Osbourne's vocal delivery, iconic, piercing through the dark gloom of Black Sabbath's dark wall of sound. Later on, when he was ousted from Black Sabbath in 1979, he would go on to start one of the most successful solo careers of all time, starting out with the amazing album Blizzard of Oz in 1980. He had such an influence on just anything modern heavy metal. He was accused once upon a time of promoting Satanism by the far-right Christians, despite the fact that he himself was Christian. Most of everything you saw about him with, the whole Prince of Darkness persona was for the show of it, and he would tell you that it was for the show of it, all to put on a good theatrical show. He always had incredible musicians with him. Three of the guitarists that come immediately to mind are absolute legends. Those guitarists being Randy Rhoads, Jakey Lee, and Zakk Wylde. Of course, Zakk Wylde has gone on to do his own thing called Black Label Society, and he's currently on tour as a member of Pantera, as they do kind of a celebration of Pantera's music with the two surviving members of Pantera. Of course, just a couple of weeks ago, Black Sabbath and Ozzy did a farewell charity show, which set a record for most money made for charity for a concert. Every last penny went to charity. And that's just one example of the giving soul that Ozzy Osbourne was. He also was responsible for promoting so many younger bands, especially when he and his wife, Sharon, started Ozfest. Take these younger bands out with him and kind of give them the rub so that his crowd would hear them and kind of promote them and lift them up, sort of the high tides lift all ships, right? He gave so much back to music. He adored his fans. God bless Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in power, sir. Well deserved. Michael, anything to say?
Which said it all.
All right. So, we will move into our next segment. This is the Art of Discovery, wherein we listen to some bands that either are unsigned or we just feel they are not getting the love that they deserve, and we've got a terrific selection of music for you this time around. We're going to kick things off with a one-man progressive metal band out of Berlin known as Mindfield. This is his new song, Atonement Part 2, Victim Machine. And once again, that was Mindfield with their song Atonement Part 2, Victim Machine. You can purchase their music from their Bandcamp page, mindfieldband.bandcamp.com. Man, that thing kicks ass. Michael, did you like that?
Yes. That was nice and heavy.
Yes, sir. This is, I believe, the second time that we've featured Mindfield on this segment. Great stuff.
Good job.
All right, our next song is from a progressive post-rock band out of Dusseldorf and the United Kingdom. This is Coma Rossi with their song Burning. And once again, that was Coma Rossi with their song Burning. That comes from their record titled Void. You can purchase their music from their Bandcamp page, comarossimusic.bandcamp.com. Michael, what'd you think about that?
That was good too.
Very atmospheric. I really enjoy bands that can do that atmospheric thing well. Cool as hell.
Yes.
All right. Our last band for the segment is a metal band for the dark divine feminine. This is Enthronement with their song Wraith.
Receding like a shadow when I shine on the light. I'm an animal afraid that the hand could strike. I'll stop living as a wraith this time. I'm not a slave to my wires. I'm entangled in the night. Keep on reaching for me, feeding me underneath. Keep on reaching for underneath your table. I beg and plead for your sustenance, but you can't promise me your safety. I'm receding like a shadow when I shine on the light. I'm an animal afraid that the hand could strike. I'll stop living as a wraith this time. I'm not a slave to my wires. I'm entangled in my drift as the wraith. I settle into the earth and I drag you down. I drift as the wraith. I settle into the earth and I drag you down. When the wolves come in, they burrow through and bury you. Yeah. I'm receding like a shadow when I shine on the light. I'm an animal afraid that the hand could strike. I'll stop living as a wraith this time. I'm not a slave to my wires. I'm entangled in the night. I'm receding like a shadow when I shine on the light. I'm an animal afraid that the hand could strike. I'll stop living as a wraith this time. I'm not a slave to my wires. I'm entangled in mine. I drift as the wraith. I settle into the earth and I drag you down.
And once again, that was Enthronement with their song Wraith. That comes from their A World Not Made for Us EP. You can purchase their music from the iTunes store. Michael, what did you think about that?
That was amazing.
Yeah, outstanding. outstanding song. The entire EP is really good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Michael, you got anything else?
Other than saying thank you to the bands that allow us to do this section in the show.
Absolutely. We would like to thank all three of the bands that allowed us to play their music on the show this week. If you would like to have your music played on the show, feel free to reach out to us via our social media or through email at lightmovepod@gmail.com. We'd love to check you out, and if we like what we hear, we would love to play a song on the show and give you a shout. All right, so now we are going to get into our main topic of the episode. This time, we're breaking down Black Sabbath's second 1970 release, Paranoid. And you heard that right, Michael. Black Sabbath released 2 records in 1970, both their debut record and this, their second album.
Yep. I was confused when I was looking at Spotify.
So this was released on September 18th, 1970 in the United Kingdom by Vertigo Records, and on January 7th, 1971 in the United States by Warner Brothers Records. The title track, Paranoid, which was the band's only top 20 hit, reached number 4 on the UK singles chart. The title track reached number 1 on the US Billboard Hot Hard Rock Songs chart during the brief time between Ozzy Osbourne's final live show and his death on July 22nd. Paranoid is widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential heavy metal albums of all time, often cited as a key influence for the development of the genre, as well as one of its earliest albums. It was ranked number 1 on Rolling Stone's list of the 100 greatest metal albums of all time in 2017, and number 139 on its list of the 500 greatest albums of all time in 2020. Paranoid was the band's only album to top the UK albums chart until the release of 13 in 2013. And with that little bit of background out of the way, Michael, let's go ahead and dive in on our track-by-track breakdown. We kick things off with track number 1, War Pigs. Michael, what do you got on this?
So I'm going to start out with my fun fact. This is their 3rd most popular song on Spotify at 384 million plays.
Wow. I wonder how many millions of plays have been added just here since the final Sabbath concert and Ozzy's passing.
I can tell you in the past month how many they've gotten listeners, monthly listeners. It's 25 million.
Yeah, it took quite a bump. Nice. So what do you got on this?
I like the opening riff, and then all of a sudden you start hearing nuclear sirens.
Yeah, like the air raid sirens, yeah.
Then we get into great vocals, and I like the strumming of the guitar every once in a while. Like, there's a pause between the vocals, and then there's the strumming of the guitar, and then it gets back into the vocals. And then they do a weird speed up towards the end of the song. At the very
end of the song?
Yeah.
Kind of strange, right?
Yes.
I meant to mention, before we got into the start of the track-by-track analysis, I meant to mention the personnel on this album. Black Sabbath, of course, comprised of the legendary late-great Ozzy Osbourne on vocals, the phenomenal Tony Iommi on guitars, and even plays flute on the song Planet Caravan, the terrific Geezer Butler on bass guitar, and he also does some of the lyric writing, and the absolutely terrific Bill Ward on drums on all songs except Planet Caravan, where he plays congas. For me, on War Pigs, this song is one of the most iconic songs of all time and has one of the most iconic openings of all time. That sludgy, doom-laden guitar riff from Tony Iommi, the sound of the air raid sirens. Then we get introduced to the voice of the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne. Bill Ward's drum work is so good on this song. The main guitar riff on this song is so good. The guitar solo at the halfway point is absolutely killer. Lyrically, this is a war protest song. Bassist Geezer Butler has further stated that this song is about how these rich politicians and rich people start all the wars for their benefit and get all the poor people to die for them. This song is a masterpiece and an epic album opener. Michael, anything else on War Pigs?
Other than all of a sudden you hear nuclear sounds or air raid.
Doom is coming. Okay, so we'll move to track number 2. This is Paranoid. Michael, what do you have on this?
So, fun fact. This is their most popular song. Take your guess how many plays it has.
You said that track 1 had, was it 300 million listens?
Yeah, for third place.
Okay. And you said this is the number 1 song?
Yes.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say around 500 million.
1 billion.
1 billion. Wow. Wow. That's nuts.
If we're getting precise, it's 1,387,752,119.
Does that tell you how absolutely legendary and iconic this is? Crazy.
This song is one of the shortest songs on the album at 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Is that a bad thing?
I just find it insane that the shortest song normally, like, one of the shortest songs on the record is the most popular.
Nuts, right? I mean, you come off of almost an 8-minute opening track, and then the 2-minute 48 song Paranoid is the greatest song of all time, according to Black Sabbath listeners on Spotify. So what do you got on this?
I like the opening riff and the drum work. Then it gets into the vocals. I'll say this again. I love the drum work and I love the guitar work on this album.
Yeah.
And I like the solo guitar riff towards the middle.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is just another absolutely iconic song. It is widely regarded as one of the greatest heavy metal songs of all time, especially as you can see evidenced by the Spotify listening numbers. Interestingly, it's almost the song that never was. According to bassist Geezer Butler, this song was sort of written as an afterthought. The band needed like a 3-minute filler song, so this is what they came up with. It's a testament to how great the songwriting was for the band that this song ultimately ended up being the title track and one of the best metal songs of all time. I love Tony Iommi's guitar work on this song. Dirty, heavy as hell, and instantly recognizable. Butler and Ward do an incredible job holding down the rhythm on this. Ozzy's vocal performance on the song is one of his all-time best, in my opinion. His phrasing and the eerie echo on his vocals create this very unsettling atmosphere. Lyrically, Butler has stated this song is about a cross of a man who is paranoid and also suffering from depression. It's also a reference to the paranoia that comes after smoking weed and the depression that comes after. It's an incredible song, and it's easy to see why this song is so highly regarded. Michael, do you have anything else on Paranoid?
I do not.
Okay. So now we'll move on to track number 3. This is Planet Caravan. Michael, what do you have on this?
I'll open up with a fun fact. This song is the 4th popular song on the album. It is 7th place on all popular song, all-time popular song for Black Sabbath.
I believe it.
At 113 million plays.
Wow. Nice.
Throughout the song, like the feeling I get from it is like caveman type feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of got a different vibe to it, right?
Yeah,
Got
it's
kinda
okay for me.
psychedelic vibe.
It's okay for me. I don't really like it.
No? Didn't care for it?
No, I don't really care for the song.
Nothing in particular stood out to you about it?
No.
No? So, musically, this song has a really psychedelic, trippy vibe to it. The effect they have on Ozzy's vocals make it seem like they are warped and distorted, a bit warbly. Butler has some killer bass work on this one. Ward's drums are experimental and light in tone. I can hear how this drum sound would have influenced a band like Tool and their drummer Danny Carey on songs like Reflection. Tony Iommi's guitar work is sparse and trippy. I could literally describe this song as what it must be like to live in a lava lamp. I love the bluesy guitar solo. Lyrically, Butler has stated that this song is about floating through the universe with one's lover. Definitely psychedelic and trippy.
Interesting, yeah.
Michael, do you have anything else on Planet Caravan?
No.
Okay. We'll move on to track number 4. This is Iron Man. Michael, what do you have on this?
So, I'll start out with a fun fact, of course. It's their 2nd most popular song on Spotify.
I believe that too. I remember growing up listening to, the classic rock station with my dad, and it felt like you couldn't get away from Iron Man. I mean, it was always in heavy rotation on the classic rock stations. So yeah, I totally believe that.
How many plays do you think it has?
Around 400 million?
Nope. 587 million. If I'm wanting to get precise, it has 589,544,832.
Yeah, like I said, I believe it. And I think this song found, a second wave of success thanks to the film Iron Man, the original Iron Man movie with Robert Downey Jr. In the credits, they play the song, or the end credits.
Oh, they do?
Yep, in the end credits.
I never caught that.
You probably don't watch the end credits.
No, when we were going through all the Marvel movies in chronological order.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you probably didn't know what you were listening to because you hadn't heard anything from Sabbath before, at least not that I'm aware of.
I mean, I've heard Iron Man.
Okay. Just don't remember it being there at the end of the film.
No.
Fair enough. So what do you got on the song?
I feel the riff on the song is instantly recognizable.
For sure. Iconic.
This song is one of my personal favorite songs on the album. I like the drum work, and I like Ozzy's vocals on this song.
Yes, sir.
Just a great all-around song.
Yeah, this is the song that literally sent Black Sabbath into the stratosphere. The sludgy, evil sound of Iommi's guitar, along with Bill Ward's pounding drums to open the song, then into that absolutely iconic main guitar riff. Even if you aren't a fan of Black Sabbath or Ozzy, I guarantee you know this song. It is so easily identifiable. Ozzy's vocal work on this song is fantastic. There's such a sinister, dark feel to the way he delivers the lyrics. The cadence and phrasing are eternally memorable. There's a killer instrumental jam a bit past the halfway point. Butler and Ward do a phenomenal job on the rhythm section during the breakdown. Iommi brings the house down with his guitar work. The closing minute of this song is a lot of fun. Ward ups the tempo on the drums. Iommi just rocks it on the guitar. Just a killer closing. According to Butler, he wrote the lyrics as a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy story. A man time travels to the future and witnesses the apocalypse. He returns to the present to warn the human race and is turned to steel by a magnetic field. The man becomes the subject of ridicule, and feeling resentful, he causes the apocalypse that he saw on his trip to the future.
Yeah, the opening, just the striking of the drum is just recognizable. You know what you're about to get into.
Yes, sir. Dark and doomy. Anything else to say on Iron Man?
Nope.
Okay. Out of curiosity. Oh, go ahead.
Were you expecting this to be my favorite song?
You know, I wasn't sure, but I understand why it might be. It's so catchy. Easy to sing along to. Out of curiosity, did you catch on to what this song might have been about by listening to the lyrics?
So, I already had been told what the song was about.
Okay. Who told you?
One of my friends.
Fair enough. I take it one of your friends has good taste.
That's also how I started listening to Linkin Park.
Okay, fair enough.
Because of him.
All right. So now we will move into track number 5. This is Electric Funeral. Michael, what do you have on this?
So this is their 5th most played song on the album with 50 million.
That's a sad state of affairs there. I don't like it.
It goes down from there. It doesn't go back up.
Boo. What do you got on this?
The vocals on this song are creepy, and the riff on this song just adds to the creepy factor.
Yeah. Dark, sinister.
And the drum solo towards like the middle to lead into nice... Okay, so I just don't state what kind of solo it is. Is amazing.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, man. This is another really sinister, evil-sounding song. Tony Iommi's guitar almost seems like it is talking to us at times. Ozzy's vocal delivery.
To us.
Yeah. Ozzy's vocal delivery is equally sinister and haunting. The musical breakdown at the halfway point has a feeling of dread and urgency. Then we give way to a more up-tempo piece of music. Ward and Butler really shine here. Lyrically, this song is about a nuclear bomb blowing up and the atrocities that come from it. In my opinion, this is a vastly underrated gem. I love this song. Do you have anything else on Electric Funeral?
I do not.
Okay. So now we will move to track number 6. This is Hand of Doom. Michael, what do you have on this?
So, this is the 7th most played song on the album at 26 million.
Fair enough.
The opening has a different style, and then it picks up with the guitar. And I also like how the beat kind of picks up more as the song goes.
Yeah, there's like a bit of a tempo change, I think.
Yeah.
This one opens up feeling a bit psychedelic. It's quiet with just the bass, drums, and Ozzy's vocals. Then it breaks into a louder, heavier section with Ozzy belting out the lyrics. Butler's bass work on the song is so good. Iommi's guitar work starting around the 2-minute mark kicks so much ass. Ward's drums are fantastic throughout. There are several changes in this song, and he does them effortlessly. This is an absolute epic of a song. Lyrically, this song is about the awful price of using hard drugs to self-medicate. The band had watched as a growing number of U.S. soldiers arrived in England from the Vietnam War with terrible drug addictions. Michael, anything else on Hand of Doom?
No.
Okay. So then we'll move into track number 7. This is Rat Salad. Michael, what do you have on this?
So, this has the least amount of plays.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of fair.
Yeah.
There's no vocals, it's just a straight instrumental. I get it.
At 17 million. I like the opening guitar riff with a suspension on the riff, and then it gets into a very nice riff and good drum work. It's a great instrumental song. It makes sense why it has the least amount of plays, but it's still a good
just
amount.
No vocals, nothing for people to really latch onto unless you're just a hardcore music fanatic. For me, this is pure 70s hard rock goodness. It's just a fantastic showcase of Black Sabbath's musicianship. I have to tip my hat to Bill Ward's drum work on this. He gets a drum solo going on this that just rocks. Butler's bass work is so good on this. It's a really great bass line. Then you have Tony Iommi with a good groovy hard rock guitar riff. Just a fun song. It's the shortest song on the record, but it's so much fun. Michael, anything else on Rat Salad?
I do not.
All right. So then we'll get to the final track on the record. This is track number 8, Fairies Wear Boots. Michael, what do you have on this?
Interesting song title.
This song was also known as Jack the Stripper.
Yeah, another interesting one too.
Right?
I like the opening riff and the drum work. I like the suspension work they do on this song. The vocals are great. It's an amazing song. Title is interesting. And a fun fact, this song is the 6th most played song on the album with 47 million.
Interesting.
Why are you saying interesting?
Yeah, I think it's a really good song, but I guess I can see why folks wouldn't like it. I don't know.
Title.
I don't know.
I said the title.
So again, I'm going to shout out Butler and Ward for absolutely bringing it on this song. There's a good bit of swing to this one. Ozzy's vocal delivery has a bit of blues to it. Tony Iommi gets a really tasty guitar solo around the halfway point. He brings the juicy guitar riffs, just heavy, dirty, and bluesy. I really like the spacey, trippy way the song closes out. Lyrically, it's a bit of a mystery on what this song is actually about. There's a few stories floating around. Butler has stated that Ozzy penned the lyrics after some skinheads called Ozzy a fairy because of his long hair. Ozzy also at one point stated the song was about tripping on LSD. Later, Ozzy would state in his autobiography, I Am Ozzy, that he couldn't recall what he wrote the song about, so who knows. But it's a great way to close out the album. Good song. All right, Michael, anything else to say on Fairies Wear Boots?
I think I have gotten enough storyline from figuring out the last song.
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get into our final thoughts and our overall album ratings. Michael, go ahead and get us started.
I think this album is awesome. I got surprised that it was a double album release in 1 year.
Yeah, the band wasted no time on.
They must have been
Absolutely
working
no
on
time.
it and then had it just lined up so perfectly.
No, they actually just wanted to capitalize on the success of their first record. They were like, oh, we need to get back in the studio and get this done.
Definitely, understandably, where all of the love comes from for this record. I'm gonna have to give it a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 from Michael. Glad you enjoyed this. For me, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have always been a big Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne fan. Growing up, my dad and my uncle, who I credit for a great deal of my music taste, they didn't listen to Sabbath or Ozzy, so they weren't really a part of my life growing up. I, of course, heard music from Sabbath and Ozzy over the radio airwaves over the years, but I didn't really pay it much attention because it wasn't the stuff that I was regularly listening to growing up. However, when I got into my early 20s, I started working with a gentleman that I credit with a great deal of the reason why I branched out in my music listening. He introduced me to a lot of prog rock and just a lot of the music that I had missed out on listening to as a kid, and Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne was one of the first things he got me into. So shout out, Chris. Thank you so much for getting me into these guys. Without a doubt, Paranoid is my favorite Black Sabbath record, and it's not even close. There's something so sinister, dark, and brooding, and evil in the sound on this record. It's so easy to hear how Sabbath went on to directly influence so much heavy music. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Without Black Sabbath, there is no heavy metal. The band is absolutely legendary for just that reason alone. Tony Iommi's dark, doom-laden, and at times trippy guitar work is so good. There's Geezer Butler's doom-soaked apocalyptic lyrics and terrific bass work. Bill Ward's drum work is so good and is the perfect backbone for the dark sound of the band. Then there's the iconic vocals of Ozzy Osbourne. His vocal tone pierces through the loudest walls of sound, delivering his vocals with a mix of playfulness and darkness. The four men of Black Sabbath created an absolute masterpiece. The songs Paranoid, War Pigs, Planet Caravan, Iron Man, Electric Funeral are all timeless classics. For me, this is the record that started it all. Pure heavy metal pioneering perfection. This album gets a 5 out of 5 from me. Sheer perfection. And you know, it's just by coincidence that we happened to be covering this album at this point. I did not know that there had been plans to do this farewell concert for Ozzy and Sabbath when I started planning out our roadmap for the albums we were going to cover. So it's just by pure happenstance that things just ended up falling the way that they did. And then, of course, with Ozzy's tragic passing a few days ago, it just felt appropriate that we were covering this album.
All fell in place.
Sure did. So, with that said, I want to leave a question for the audience. What is your favorite track on Paranoid, and why? Alright, so now we are going to move into our next segment. This is Can't Wait. New music coming soon. I don't really have anything on my release radar here for the next couple of weeks at least. I'm sure something will pop up and, you know, I something that I wasn't aware of. But to my knowledge, there's not much coming up here. How about you, Michael? Anything that you're looking forward to over the next couple of weeks?
No.
So, recently announced, I did see that someone from the Carnival camp stated that their new album should be out in October of this year. So, Michael, just a few more months, and hopefully we'll have that new Carnival album in hand.
I thought it was going to be 20 more years.
Also for October 24th, the Acacia Strain are releasing their new record titled You Are Safe from God Here. And then recently announced our first record that's on the radar for next year. On January 9th, Alter Bridge is releasing their new record self-titled Alter Bridge.
We're already getting into next year? Dang.
I mean, we're beyond the halfway point of the year at this point. Crazy to think about.
Do you think we get a new Periphery record next year?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
What about
I don't think
Protest?
so. Maybe. I haven't really heard anything out of the Protest camp in a while about new music, so I don't know. Maybe. You could put it on your wish list.
I'm trying to think. Why can't I think? I can't think. Yeah. I give up.
Okay. So we didn't get any listener feedback, so we'll move into our final segment of the show. This is Michael's journey discovering a song from the past. And this time around, we're going to get Michael's thoughts on Ben E. King's Stand By Me. This song was written and performed by Ben E. King in 1961. According to King, the title is derived from and was inspired by a spiritual written by Sam Cooke and J.W. Alexander called Stand By Me, Father. And that was recorded by the Soul Stirrers with Johnny Taylor singing lead. Benny King's Stand By Me was featured on the soundtrack of the 1986 film Stand By Me, and a corresponding music video featuring King along with actors River Phoenix and Will Wheaton was released to promote the film. In 2015, King's original version was inducted into the National Recording Registry by the Library of Congress as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant, just under 5 weeks before King's death. There have been over 400 recorded versions of this song, performed by a variety of artists, notably Otis Redding, John Lennon, Muhammad Ali, Tracy Chapman. Pretty crazy. It peaked in 1961 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 at number 4, on the U.S. Hot R&B sides at number 1. All right, and with that little bit of background out of the way, Michael, what do you have on this song?
I like the beat to this song and the vocals. It's just amazing. It makes sense why this is a classic. And I also like the orchestra towards the end of the song. That's just amazing.
Yeah, the strings, really pretty. Very pretty.
Awesome song.
Yeah, that opening bass line is absolutely iconic. As soon as you hear it, you know the song instantly. It sticks with you. It's so catchy. When the strings kick in during the chorus, it just takes this song to a whole different level. There's so much emotion. The string solo around the 2-minute mark is simply gorgeous. Plucks at your heartstrings. All of that, and then there's still the terrific vocal performance from Benny King. His performance is so strong. I very much enjoy the vocal melody on this song so much. It's extremely catchy. The lyrics are memorable and easy to sing along to. It's such an uplifting song, and King puts so much heart and soul into his delivery. Absolute classic. Michael, let's get your rating out of 5 on this.
I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. It just makes sense why it's an absolute classic.
Totally agree. Okay, Michael, so up next on your journey, we're going to cover Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me. And for the main topic on our next episode, I'm calling an audible. We were originally scheduled to cover a different record, but in light of the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, I thought it would be a good time for us to dive into and discuss Ozzy Osbourne's 1980 debut solo release, Blizzard of Oz. And with that said, we want to hear from you. We will read your emails and messages on the show. We have only one request. Keep them clean. There are several ways to contact us. You can email us at lightmovepod@gmail.com. You can also reach us on several social media platforms such as Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Details on how to connect with us are in the show notes. We are part of the SPDM Crew Podcast Network. Check out all of the podcasts on the network by visiting spdmcrew.com.
If you like the show, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform and share with your friends and family. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a variety of other platforms. We are also on YouTube. Can't find us on your chosen platform? Shoot us a message and let us know. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This helps us be found in the algorithm. Make them good and we'll read them on the air. Are you in a band and you'd like for us to check you out and possibly drop a recommendation on the show? Shoot us a message. We'd love to check you out and give you a shout. We'd like to thank you very much for listening to the Leitmotif Movement podcast.
Take care and enjoy music.